Okay, perfect. So now we're recording. And I want to know from all of you, so you can just do a show of hands, you can comment, whatever works. But how many of you either have or have tried to run a Facebook group and you've used it as a tool to educate, and you feel like the group is dead and you're just dragging this group behind you? All right, we got the fun one in the room. Look at that. Yes, right? And I know because I was there for a long time and it was like, oh, this is just so painful, but you feel like you should post in it and you should do this and that, but it doesn't get you anywhere. And that's when I started really learning about how Facebook groups work. And I realized I don't want to say all the things I was doing wrong, but the things I was not optimizing. And I have now learned not to optimize just for engagement, where engagement is great, but to actually optimize for conversion. So can you actually have a Facebook group where leads come to you, the leads that you want, so exactly the person that you want to work with, and they will convert into happy customers? Can you actually do that? Someone who you are not connected to currently, someone who is not a friend of yours, a total stranger, but your perfect person, can they actually come to you and turn into a happy customer, maybe a happy team member? And the answer is truly yes, because I've done it more than once now. But I had to change everything that I was doing before when it came to groups. So when I decided to put this training together, I broke it up into 3 days because it's a bit heavy on what you have to do. And I wanted to give you guys bite-sized chunks, okay? So you might walk away from today feeling like, gosh, I still don't really know how to accomplish everything that Z's talking about. Hang in there because we will get there by Friday, okay? We will get there. But right now, it's important that I show you the pre-work you have to do to make this group function the right way. And the pre-work is super important. So we're going to dive in and I'm going to share screen. Let's see. And I just ask that if you can, if you have questions, you can type them. I'm going to get to questions at the end because some of the stuff you might ask, I might cover later on. So I will go through the chat screen later and check if there's any questions that I can answer. And then at the very end of the course, some of the questions I might say, you know, hey, let's wait on that because I'll get to it. But feel free to ask. Let's see, I need to share screen. And there we go. And let me put this in presentation mode. All right. So we've got 3 days together and I purposely, like I said, laid this out so that by the end, you'll know exactly what to do to have a Facebook group that converts. Okay, so the previous method that we probably all had, at least I know I had, is I would do a post on my personal Facebook page and say, who wants to join my group? Or maybe I would run a free group. All right, we're doing a 5-day water challenge. Who wants to join my free group? Maybe I would send out personal messages. Maybe I would post it in my stories. And I was just hoping people would join. Maybe I actually even went in and invited all of my friends, hoping that they would join. I would do giveaways and freebies. Have you guys ever done giveaways and freebies, begging people to comment, begging people to join, right? Okay, I will tell you, I don't do any more giveaways and freebies. My giveaway is my knowledge. Okay, so we're not going to be doing any more giveaways and freebies. I had so many groups. I mean, it's honestly insane how many groups I have created on Facebook. Some were okay, some were total flop. Some of them were awesome because I did giveaways and freebies, so I had incredible engagement, but the conversion rate was nothing to write home about. And I had no plan. I just had lots and lots of hope. Does any of this sound familiar? Yeah, lots and lots of hope, but not a plan. Okay, so here's the bigger picture of what we're going to get to at the end of this week. What if a stranger found you through your Facebook group? A stranger that wanted what you had to offer and they were actually looking for you specifically. What if they willingly gave you their email address? And what if your email system was set up to message them the content they asked for and also identified who would want to work with you? How does that sound? That'd be pretty cool, right? Okay, we can get there, but the first step, and this is usually one of the hardest steps, is to identify our niche, okay? This is going to be a big portion of what we do in today's lesson. If you don't identify your niche, We don't know who to bring to you. And you are not going to reach everyone. We don't want to reach everyone. Now, I think most of everyone on this call is Shaklee, right? I posted this publicly on my, yes. Okay. So good thing about Shaklee, we have a ton of products. Bad thing about having a ton of products is we can be a little scatterbrained about who we want to help. So when you have a niche, you can still suggest almost every single product that we have, but now you're speaking directly to someone. So let me give you an example. And as some of you may know, I have a course and I've got a lot of Shaklee folks that are students in my course. One of them said to me, Z, it was very hard for me to nail down my niche, but now that I have, it is so easy for me to post. And I'll give you an example. My niche specifically that I work with is I niche down to, I help women balance hormones that are 35 and over. Okay. So when I post about Vivix, I am talking about Vivix to women who want to balance hormones that are 35 and over. When I post about collagen, I wrap it into my niche. So when your hormones are out of balance, sometimes you could have hair loss. Well, let's talk about collagen. So every time I talk about a product, I'm still wrapping it up in this niche, and it's so easy for me to talk about that product. When you sound very general and you say, we have awesome skincare, it's non-toxic, and you're trying to speak to everyone, you're actually not really speaking to anyone in particular. When I post about skincare, I say, hey, if you're trying to balance your hormones and you're still putting toxic ingredients in your skin, you're not going to balance your hormones. So the people who I want to talk to, their ears are perking up and they're thinking, gosh, she's talking directly to me. So I want to give you another example. Okay. Let's say you attend a concert, right? And there's 3 lines. The first line says men, and whoever is the male is going to go stand in that line. Second line says women. Okay. Raise your hand if you're going to go stand in that line. Okay. Now the second line says women 55 and over. Raise your hand if you're going to go in the second line. Why aren't you going to go in the women line? Why'd you just walk out of that line? Because you are going to go where it's more specific to you. Naturally, you're still a woman. You could still go in the second line, but all of a sudden this line feels a little bit more personal. It feels like it was meant for you. And the reason I'm trying to convince you about this is because I know, just even talking to my students, that this is the hardest part. And you might think, no, I believe you, Z, but when it comes down to it, it tends to be a struggle to niche down. When my business really exploded and when my group really started to bring in leads was when I tacked on that 35 and above. So balancing hormones for women 35 and above. Now, if someone came to me and they were 30 and they said, Z, I need your help, do you think I would turn them away? Of course not. I can definitely still help them. But when I stuck that 35 and above in there, here's what happened. People who were searching for me found 2 groups. First one said for women, balancing hormones naturally for women. The second group said balancing hormones naturally for women 35 and above. You can bet that all those women 35 and above thought they only belong in my group. So niching down is going to be incredibly important if you want to bring the right leads to you. Now, if you're going there, if you're going after leads yourself and you're doing all that work of going after the right leads, then by all means, you can go after anything you want. But if you want to build a business where people are coming to you, niching down is going to be absolutely the number one thing we have to do. So we're actually going to do a worksheet together right now. Okay, let's see if this link works. It does, but my screen sharing is paused. So hold on one second. Nope, it doesn't want me to do that. So I have to reshare. So hold on one second and let's reshare. All right. So if you have a piece of paper handy, you can do this. If not, you can just follow along. All right. So it does a general rule. The first time you niche down, you should be targeting an audience you really know. If you are part of this audience, this is ideal. So a few years ago, my niche was actually women who were having babies because that's where I was in my life. Then the last couple of years, my niche was actually balancing hormones because I felt like after I had my son, I just wasn't feeling right. And I figured out that that was a big piece of what was going on. So your niche has to feel relatable to you first. This is the first niche that you choose. That doesn't mean that down the road, you can't expand into a niche that maybe you're not currently living in, but you used to live in, okay? But as a general rule, right now, we want something that you are a part of. You're part of this audience. For example, if you're a 35-year-old married mama and a life coach that also works as a teacher, you might want to target 35-year-old mamas that are teachers. Okay, so we are going to jump ahead. So when I ask you these questions, I want you to write about yourself, not who you want to work with. What is your general industry? What industry do you know well and could offer a product or service to? And by industry, it does not have to be a job, okay? It can be any subset of people that you feel like you know well and could offer a product or service to. It could be an age group. It could be something that they do. Maybe, do you live on a farm, right? So some type of lifestyle that you live. It could be anything that identifies a subset of people. So write down what identifies you as a subset. Entrepreneur would actually work really well, right? Mother is fine. That's actually a great one, right? So moms, mothers that work from home. Grandmother, any of those would work here. All right, now get specific with age, gender, location, or type of location. So for example, you could say they live in a big city, they live in the suburbs, maybe she's a stay-at-home mom, maybe you are a stay-at-home mom, maybe you're a grandma that watches your grandchildren, maybe you're a homeschool mom. So get a little more specific, and age and gender, okay? Okay, we're going to get a little more specific now. We're going to add some hobbies and goals in there. So goals is a really good one for us. Okay, so for me, right? So I said it's balancing hormones for women 35 and above. But if I were talking about me here, when I think about my goals, it's women who want to feel their best after having babies or as they're having babies, right? Who want to go back to feeling like themselves, who don't want, I'm 41, so women who maybe don't want to hit 40 and all of a sudden feel like they don't have energy. That's my goal, right? And I would also say my goal is moms who want to work from home, who want to be able to provide an income without leaving the house. So all of these can fit into here. All right. Anything else that you can think of? Anything more specific? Any more hobbies or goals? Okay, we're going to wrap that up. So this is your final, it's not going to be your niche yet. These are just all the things we took. Okay. So now I want you to take all the hobbies, the gender, the age, what you're helping them with, right? Or what that person is, who you are. And now we're going to do the final piece of the puzzle. What problem can you solve for this person? Now, remember, this person is you. That's where we started. Okay. That we started describing you. Now we want to think what problem. So what problem are you best at solving? Does anybody have any ideas of what problem you're best at solving? A problem that you have gone through and you're figuring out, or you figured it out. You've gone through it, right? So how I got to hormones truly was because I had to figure it out for myself. That's really what it was. And when I figured it out for myself, I wanted to share it with others. So it's something, if you are 60 years old, and there was a day where you didn't have energy, you didn't feel good, and today you feel absolutely amazing, that is the problem you can solve for other people. It's got to be something that you have lived through and you have solved for yourself. It is much more authentic to talk about a problem you solved for yourself than to think about a problem that you can solve for others, but you've never walked in their shoes. Okay, so let's look over here. Sandy said, getting healthier as I age. Okay. So getting healthier is something that you are doing day by day. Was there a time in your life when you didn't feel healthy? And you can unmute or you can type, whatever is easier. Was there a time where you didn't feel good? $25. Okay, so you know what it feels like to not be healthy. And now, you don't have to tell me how old you are if you don't want to, but at your age, you 56. At 56, do you feel better than you did at 25? Oh, you just said it, and feeling better. That's insane. Your story, that is so powerful. And so you are helping women. Is it women? Is that your niche? Okay. 50 and above. Don't be scared to put that number, right? I have a lot of folks in my class that are, oh, well, should I make it 35 and above? Why? Why? How many people are 50 and above and feel horrible?
Oh,
Lots of people feel horrible. Okay, you got to talk to Sandy. So how to stay healthy, and not just stay healthy, how to get healthy if you're not currently healthy. Okay. So what else do we have here? I'm 74 and feel great. How to stay healthy and have lots of energy as you age, and how to bounce back after injury. Okay, 74 and feel great, guys. I swear the Shaklee stories, nothing is like the Shaklee stories. It's amazing. How to stay healthy and have lots of energy as you age, and how to bounce back. Michael and Cindy, that is so good. How to bounce back after injury. Have either of you done that? Bounce back after injury. That's a
Yes.
really good one. Okay. And depending on the injury, you can even get more specific, right? So if it's something that a lot of people go through, then you can even get as specific as that. Okay. So that's who you can help. And then you have the demographic. So I want you to create this sentence with me right now. I help men and women. I help men. I help women, whoever it is. I help. Then you can add an age if you want with XYZ. So for me, I help women 35 and above balance their hormones naturally. I want you to fill that sentence in for yourself and then type it in the chat box if you care to share. Jody, not anymore. Yay, good. I help XYZ accomplish XYZ or accomplish ABC. Anyone stuck or need help with this? You can unmute. Okay, I'll unmute you, Jody. All right, let's do an example together. Let's see. There we go. No, you don't want to do you? Okay. I can't hear you. Okay. We'll come. You're okay. You're okay.
I have laryngitis, so I can't.
Oh my gosh, poor thing, of all the people to call, you poor thing. Okay, Michael and Cindy, I help women over age 60 get and stay healthy, have lots of energy, and bounce back after injury. Fabulous. I love it. I want you to write that down somewhere where you see it. So every time you talk about a Shaklee product, I want you to bring it back to this person. Okay. Talk to this person that does not have energy, that maybe isn't feeling healthy, and maybe had an injury that they can't bounce back from. I want you to speak to that person in your posting. Okay, I help people feel healthy and have more energy. Okay, I want you to get more specific. I'm going to challenge you on that one. It's a little too general.
All right,
Want you go? I know you're giving me that look, like Z, but I don't want to go more specific. I want you to get a little more specific, either with age or gender or both.
All right, I have a question for you.
Okay, I got Rhoda.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I make it so that I say I help nurses who are frustrated with our healthcare system to work from home?
Okay, so I love it. And all of your business postings should be centered around that. So that's a yes. But for the group, you need to find a product related problem. Here's why. If you create a group to work from home and then people join the group and they see that it's an MLM, they're going to immediately leave. So this is how we do this. When you do posting about the business, you've got to write that down, and that is your focus. And I love it. I absolutely love it. For the purpose of this course and the group, we are going to bring people in as customer leads. And then if you remember, when it comes to building a team, there's two buckets that you recruit from, right? Your customer base, which is low hanging fruit. They're already buying, they already know you and trust you, and they love you, and they trust the products and have already spent money on the products. Super easy to recruit from the customer base. Then there's the outside customer base. That's who that posting comes in for. But you don't want to create a group to bring in business builders directly, simply because if you build a group and then they join and find out it's an MLM, that group is not going to work, right? So this strategy specifically I want you to find another niche. This will be your business niche and it's fabulous.
All
I
right,
want
so
you to find a
what,
niche. Yeah.
so what if I did nurses who have children and are tired and want to feel better or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And even just nurses, that's a great niche because I can tell you a lot of nurses are spending so much time taking care of patients and they're working so hard and they are mothers, they have no time left for themselves. So I help nurses feel their best. I help nurses get healthy. A lot of nurses are not healthy because they work crazy long hours. They're not sleeping. So yeah, I love it. And that's a really good one. I help men and women regulate their type 2 diabetes naturally. No, it is not specific at all. I'm not too specific. I love it. Good one. Really good. Yes, type 2 diabetes is so huge. It's not even close to being too specific. You could even say, I help women 40 and over. I mean, that is a massive, massive group of people. I would actually niche down even more, to be honest, from type 2. I would say I would either pick men or women, and I would even put an age in there. That's a fabulous title. I mean, niche. I help women 80 and over grandmas. Yep, you could do either one. Yeah, so Kim, that's a good question about health claims. So what you want to put in there is for the regulate their type 2 diabetes. So you could even say improve blood sugar if you want to be careful. But one other thing, and when it comes to health claims, there is nowhere we are going to put Shaklee in any of this stuff. Not in posting, not in your group. We are not putting Shaklee. Okay, because your group, and we're going to get into this the next couple of days, your group is not going to actually talk about Shaklee. You are going to serve your audience and talk about tons of different ways that they can balance their blood sugar with type 2 diabetes through diet, through exercise. I will show you how you bring Shaklee into all of it, but it's not going to be posted anywhere in the group. So we're not making product health claims. Okay. All right. So let's move to the next section. I help women 50 and above regular. Yes, perfect. And you're not in the group. So this has to be a subject that you feel very comfortable with because you've gone through it and you're going to share all sorts of advice, not just one specific supplement. We're actually not going to share supplements in the group. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
So can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Sandy.
Okay, so like the 50 and over, I feel better than I did at 25, but I don't know how to exactly to say that. Like I love the grandma thing because I have 10 grandkids. And so that's my big why. And like I love to, you know, play with them and do all the things.
Yeah.
But how do I say that? Or where do I go?
I help grandmas feel better over 50 so they can run around chasing their grandchildren. I help grandmas feel their best 50 and over. I help grandmas 50 and over feel their best. I like that better. I help grandmas 50 and over feel their best so they can spend their time running after their grandchildren.
So they have the energy to run after their.
So they have the energy, is that what you said? I like that. So they have the energy. Yes, that's great. So they have the energy to run after their grandchildren. Love it. Yes.
That's what I say all the time.
Yes.
I love my business. It's part-time, but my full-time is chasing grandchildren and having the energy to keep up with them.
That could be part of the niche right there too. And you guys can have similar niches. I don't want you to be worried about that at all. Okay. There is so much opportunity the way I'm going to teach you. So I'm going to share screen now, and we are actually going to take our niche and we're going to create a Facebook group right now. Okay. And this is the last part of the lesson today. So we're going to create a Facebook group using our niche. That's all we're going to do after that. We're going to do the rest of the lesson on Wednesday and Friday, but this is where it gets fun. And this is how you have to build your group. And this is going to be your homework assignment. So let me share. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do this. So give me a second. Let me go to Facebook. Okay. Share screen. All right. So I went to Facebook and I said, hey, I want to create a new group. Okay. Group name. Believe it or not, out of everything that I'm going to teach you, this is probably one of the most important. Your group name on Facebook is so important. It does not need to be catchy and fun. It needs to be a lead generating machine. So you've probably heard of Google keywords, right? There are certain words that get searched the most often, okay? So what I want you to do, and this is your homework, is to go to Google, and I want you to, not to really check that out, it's pretty funny. This is actually one of the folks in my course, and this is her group, Sustainable Tips for the Whole Family. But anyway, so I want you to type in, I want to do the, let's see, lower blood sugar. Let's just type that in, lower blood sugar. And then I'm going to click over here and put groups. I want Facebook to show me the groups. So this is a public group. I don't care about public groups. I want to see how the private groups are doing. Okay. Pre-diabetes community for lower A1C and blood sugar. We've got 833 members. Diabetic lower blood sugar discussion, 447. 18,000 members, 8-week blood sugar diet friends. Healthy blood sugar, 500. Okay, so these are okay. Oh, this one's really good. Lower blood pressure. Okay, so that's not blood sugar. Let's try this again. Type 2 diabetes. Okay, so I'm going to look at groups. No, I don't want public. Okay, so it's going to give me both. That's a public group, public. I want to see how the private, okay, check this out. Private group, 73,000 members. Diabetes support group, 8.5 thousand members, 9.3 thousand. 11,000. So the minute you put type 2 diabetes in there, it skyrockets. Those are really good keywords. Now, the other thing you want to remember is when you're searching for your group, I want you to go in here and I want you to open up some of the private groups. And this is where the health piece comes in. I want you to see what some of these folks are saying, because in the description of the group is where you can make it very clear that this is simply tips and advice, and they should always check with their doctor. You are simply offering, like I said, tips and advice. This is recipes. No, these are public. Let me find a private group. Okay. 8.5 thousand members. Let's see what this. Trying to see where the description of the group is, but they don't seem to have a very big one here. Oh, here it is. This group is for you if you or a loved one has type 2 diabetes, you want to learn how to better manage it, you want to minimize the medications. The group admin, Katie, so she's a registered dietitian. Okay, so we want to find a group where they have a disclaimer that we can kind of, and you can always write your own disclaimer too. That's public. Oh yeah, here we go. P.S. We are not doctors, so we can't give you medical advice. We can tell you what works or doesn't work for us personally, but you are in distress, please go see a doctor. Okay, so something like that is important when you are creating your group. Just to let them know that this is a support group. It is not to replace any type of medical information. Okay. Now, if this was your niche, you're going to want to join some of these groups. And then your homework assignment is to start researching titles that perform well. So let's go over that. You're going to want to search in the search bar, the title. Okay. So let's just say healthy aging, right? For grandmas. And that's not your niche, but it's kind of the idea. So we just want to put some keywords in and see how they do. Then come down here and find just groups. Okay. Healthy anti-aging, 700 members, public. I like to look at the private ones. Small, grandma's recipes. That's a cute group. Okay. So it's okay. Let's see. Grandmas. I just want to put grandmas and see how we do with groups. Everything grandma funny, grandma heart and soul. Let's see, grandma recipes, grandma love. Not seeing anything about grandma energy. Let's see how that does. Grandma gets her energy back. Grandma's tasty. So apparently recipes are really popular. I'm not seeing, okay, so let's say women 60 plus, and now let's check that. Okay, a lot better. So fabulous women over 60. I'm going to add the word healthy and see how I do when I do that. All right, so that's actually really good. The minute I added healthy to women over 60, do you see what happened? Every one of these groups. So you have to play around with it. And sometimes titles that you might not think are the best actually work really well. Fit and healthy women over 40. We went over 60 in this search, but those came up as well. So those ones, look at that health. The minute we added the word healthy, it immediately jumped up. So now let's do women. I just want to see what happens when I do 50. Okay, same thing. When you add the word healthy, it boosts it immediately. Okay. So I want you guys to think about that in the next couple of days. I want you to search some titles and play around with it and see what happens when you add certain words. Do some words bring it down? And you're probably thinking, but Z, there's already so many people in those groups. That's not the way it works. If it's a popular search term, then there's a lot of people searching for it. And that's how we're going to build your group. Okay. So we do want to use popular words because those are the words that are being searched the most often. You're right. Sorry. It's Friday and next Monday. You're correct for the next sessions. So the next session this week is Friday. So your homework is to search on groups and start finding that title that has the best algorithm. That's really what it is. We want to have the best search results. For example, the word weight loss. I know the word weight loss a lot of people don't like. I will say though, the word weight loss is very, very strong. It has been for years and it probably always will be. So if you did use a word that you don't love, you can still attach a word that makes it better. For example, healthy and sustainable weight loss. That's what one of my students did. We chose the word weight loss because she does help people lose weight and balance their blood sugar. The two do go hand in hand, but she did not want to promote diet culture. And so that's what she tacked onto it. Just keep that in mind when you're searching. Sometimes a keyword might not be your favorite word, but it's still a word we want to use. And then we can attach another word to help push away whatever it is that we don't want. Okay. So I want you guys to nail down your title. Okay. And then on Friday, we're going to actually go through the group and we're going to build out some membership questions. These are really important too. And we'll go through the next steps. Okay. Any questions? All right. I'm gonna give you guys one more homework assignment. I want you to create a post on your personal Facebook page. Okay. And I want you to pretend that you're speaking to that person. You can talk about anything you like. Do not use the word Shaklee or any product names. That's your other homework assignment. No product names. Do not use the word Shaklee. And I want you to talk to that person in that post. So if it's someone that is recovering from an injury, I want you to maybe tell your story and what you did, but you can't use Shaklee or product. So you got to be a little tricky. It's a little tricky, but you can do it. Okay. And if you want to see how that's done, you can go to my page because I almost never say Shaklee or product names, or I'll make up my own name. I'll say this is my immune boosting cocktail or something like that, right? But I won't say the name. And that's how I keep legal away from me too.
I have a question, Z.
Yeah.
You don't want us to actually join any of these groups. You just want us to look at
You
them.
can definitely to get ideas. Yeah, definitely. You guys can join for sure. So you can get ideas of what's being shared in there and what posts are getting the most engagement. Yeah, it would be a good idea to, if you find a group that's similar to yours, you should join it. Okay. Anything else before we wrap up today? All right, everyone. I hope you guys have a good week. I will see you on Friday when we dive into creating the rest of the group. Yes, Jody. Oh, you can chat. Hold on. Do you want to, let me see. Did you type something? How about you chat? That way you don't have to use your voice.
Jody, I think your messages were going to certain people.
Oh,
I'm just gonna try it this way.
sorry.
Can you-
poor thing.
No, it's okay.
Friday
Can you hear me?
is, let me check real quick on my calendar. It's PST 8:15, so it's 11:15 Eastern for Friday.
Do we want to create the group or wait?
Totally up to you guys. If you, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can create it, nail down your title, go ahead, but just nail down that title. If you want to create it, you can. The only thing is, I don't want you to do anything else. Don't do membership questions. Don't do a cover photo or any of that, okay? So if you want to hold off on waiting just so you can do it all at once, then wait till Friday, because Friday we are going to go through everything else and complete the group. So that's going to be kind of the heavier day. And then after Friday, then you can build it. If you go in today, you're just going to create a title. That's it. All right, everyone. Have a great
Thank you so much.
Friday. You're so welcome. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone.
You're welcome.
Thank you.